Welcome to episode 26 of Arcadiology, where we dig up your favorite arcade relics. My name is Jordan Carruthers. Hello, everybody. I am here with my three best friends in the entire world, the Wiggin Boys. Mr. Brad Wiggin.
What up?
Mr. Sky Wiggin.
Hello there.
Mr. Kyle Wiggin.
Saw dudes.
I am running out of new ways to try slightly change my introduction here, but that's okay. How you boys feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, dude.
Love to hear that. Who wants to tell me first? Besides for our game tonight, what games you guys playing?
I've been playing Celeste. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer. Anyone know about this one?
Nope.
This is one I've at least heard of. Yeah, I've at least heard of this one, so that's better
this
than
one
usual.
Gets a lot of hype, so yeah, I was expecting at least one of you to at least heard of it. But yeah, it's like it has like pixel art graphics. It's not 16-bit, but it kind of resembles a game from that era. Like I think there's probably more stuff they do with it with modern technology that they couldn't do back then, but it still looks like would be a 16-bit game somewhat. But yeah, the movement feels so good in the game, and it does the Super Meat Boy thing where you're gonna die a lot, but you just instantly respawn. You can try again, and then at the end of like when you finish that chapter, it tallies up your total deaths, and it's usually in like the hundreds because some of the platforming is pretty freaking hard. But they just keep introducing like new mechanics to keep the gameplay fresh. Like by the time you're like get used to it, they'll add something else into it. Like you have a dash, you can cling to walls, you can kind of climb a little bit. But then like to refresh your dash, you have to land on a surface and you can dash again. But eventually they start adding like all these other obstacles or like blocks you can dash through that recharge your dash. You get this feather that lets you fly for like a couple seconds. They have a segment, it's like the Sonic game, like the casino level with like the little bouncers, like the little pinball stage.
Yeah.
It has stuff like that. So you got to like dash, hit the bouncer. It gives you your dash back. You can use it again to reach the next segment. But yeah, there's no combat in it either. But they have like these sections, which I almost feel like they're kind of like boss battles. You don't fight, but you're just either like avoiding the boss who's kind of chasing you and like shooting stuff at you. Or the other one, you have to chase this girl. And you just pretty much jump into her to damage her essentially. But it feels so good because you're like jumping, you dash once you hit her. It like knocks you back, but it also refreshes your dash. So you're mid-air and you can dash again right back into her. It just feels so sick. It's like this crazy air combat where you just keep dashing back and forth. And then whenever she attacks you, it reminds me of like the Halo Spartan laser. It's like this red laser. It starts charging up and it blasts at you. But yeah, man, for a game that doesn't really have combat, these boss battles feel great.
Is that movement like the, you remember playing The Messenger? Does it
Yeah,
kind of feel like that?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I started playing this. I was like, this game's cool, but it's not quite The Messenger. Played a little bit more, and I was like, it's almost there. And I kept getting further. I was like, oh, man, this is right up there with The Messenger. And then I had the final thought. I was like, I don't even want to say it, man, but it might even be better than The Messenger. This game. Yeah, this is the one you got to play.
Messenger set a pretty high bar for those kind of games for me. Like that and Dead Cells are like, just the movement controls in those are like hard to match.
Yeah, I would say it's right up there with those. This feels so good.
Wow, man, I have to check that out then. I love those games.
Oh, and the music in it is so good too. You'll love that. But yeah, I finished it. There's like extra stuff you can do. Like there's 7 chapters for the initial game, but then to like unlock the 8th chapter, you have to go back and get specific collectibles, which I was like, I'm not about that. I'll just stop here. This is the end for me.
Oh, I love the collectible grind.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. There's some like pointless ones where you do just to get them, just to say you did it. And then there's other hidden ones that you need to unlock stuff. And then each stage also has a B-side, which you can go back into it if you unlock it, and it's a harder version of that stage. But yeah, I didn't mess with any of that either. Definitely recommend this if you like The Messenger, or just platforming in general. This is top tier for me.
Now I gotta get it, man. You're recommending that too crazy now.
Yeah. The more I played it, the more I liked it. I mean, initially I thought it was good. But the more I played, it just kept getting better and better. It's got a pretty cool little story going on there, too, with some nice dialogue. You're like this little girl just trying to climb the mountain. That's pretty much like the main overarching theme of it.
Hey, if it's got awesome gameplay, I don't need much of a story.
Yeah. Yep, this has got everything you need. That's pretty much it. I started and finished that game, so that's it for me.
Well, I've been playing a new MOBA that came out. It's called Deadlock. It's released by Valve, and it's surprisingly it's actually in a closed beta state right now. So the only way you can play it is if someone on your Steam friends list that already has it, like sends you an invite to play the game. So it's almost like this weird like word of mouth spread for now. And it already has like, I'm pretty sure it has like over 100,000 players on it, which is crazy that like all these people needed to be invited by other people they know to even play the game.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been kind of popping off. It has some pretty big success. They actually already just had like their first, it was either their first or second tournament already. The one that just happened was like a $10,000 tournament, and this game's it's still in a closed beta.
A beta game having a 10 grand tournament?
Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Not me neither. Kind of loving it. So it's cool. I mean, if you're not into MOBAs, you're just not into MOBAs. So like, it's not going to be your thing. But if you like MOBAs, this is, in my opinion, up there with like the best ones. It's a lot like a game I used to play called Paragon, which eventually like died, and then they like redid it, and now it's called Predecessor. But it's like a third person over the shoulder kind of view instead of like your traditional like top down MOBA. So there's actual like gunplay and like aiming and skill shots involved while you're doing like the traditional MOBA stuff. But they have a lot of cool ideas. They have like, I know Skylar's played MOBAs. I don't know about Brad and Jordan, but
Nah.
yeah, you guys wouldn't understand then. But it's like they kind of spice it up a little bit. It's not as boring as MOBAs can get. But yeah, that's what I've been playing lately. It's called Deadlock.
I'll have to check that out. I know you were telling me about that at work the other day.
Yeah, I'll have to get on, and I think we should be friends on Steam. So you have to be Steam friends, and then I have to like literally log into the game and then send you an invite code to play.
Dude, invite me to your secret club.
I'll let you in, dude.
I want to play games.
You invite me, I'm not going to play, but I just want to be included.
No,
What's going on? What's going on over here?
One in my library.
we don't want any non-MOBA enthusiasts into our community.
Dang. It's a tight circle of 100,000 people.
Of 100,000 plus.
Oh, well, I recently just recovered Jordan's RuneScape account, so I've been playing that for a little bit.
Nice,
Oh
dude.
no!
So he's got
They're
some
gonna
pretty...
ban it again, dude.
He's got some pretty cool stuff in there, so I'm glad I could get a hold of that.
They just gave it back so they could ban it again.
I won't be returning it to him.
Oh, that's
Finders
okay. I have a
keepers.
new one.
I guess he just didn't give sufficient information, I guess, so I had to go in there and they thought I was him, so I got it now.
I'm happy to hear that.
But yeah, he was rightfully banned. He was botting. But anyway.
He was botted, confirmed.
Wow. Get out.
No, come on, RuneScape. Justice for Jordan, right now.
That's right. You tell him. Stupid Jagex. Jagoffs is more like it.
But I started playing Dungeon Fighter Online again. Anybody who hasn't played it, it's like a 2D beat 'em up, kind of like Streets of Rage, but it's like times a million. Like the game's huge. There's so many different maps. You level up, you get equipment and all that stuff. It's like if you injected steroids with steroids and then injected Streets of Rage with those extra steroids.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the game's like.
Dang.
But they have like returning bonuses now, so if you start like a new character and you never played before, you'll level up insanely fast. You'll blitz through all like the beginning and middle game stuff, and you can get to the end game really fast and actually start having fun and checking out different classes and all that. There's like so many different classes now and updates. Like I'm still trying to get back into. I still feel like brand new trying to play this game. That's pretty much what I've been into lately. It's like my favorite beat 'em up game, so pretty
Actually,
pumped to get my account back.
Like maybe a month or two ago, I think on Snapchat, Tommy D, he sent me a snap. I think he was playing that again. So.
Is he still playing that?
I think he just started back up, maybe. I don't know if he's been playing it, but he just sent
Oh
me
my god.
Yeah, so I have to get a hold of him. You guys can get in there and shred together.
Tommy D, add us, man. Let's play.
Tom by 4.
That's crazy. I think when we all quit, like back in the day, he was, even after like 3 years after we quit, and like I randomly saw him, he was still playing the game.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, he just got
Remember that
going.
dude? He's been crushing it the whole time. That's crazy.
All right, so what I learned tonight is that Sky's trying to play with Tommy's D. Okay, cool.
That's right. No shame.
All right. I mean, unfortunately, I got not a whole lot for you. I know it's not anyone else's thing here. It's a terrible answer. I've pretty much just been playing Madden, man. I sink myself into it whenever that game comes out for a little while. I'm a football nerd, so that's about all I've really been doing in my spare time. I'll get back to like Rebirth and all that other stuff soon enough, but lately it's been just about that, and I don't really think very many people listening to Arcadiology want to hear me talk about Madden for too long, so we can just kind of move along and hop on into the game if you boys are ready to.
Yeah, I mean, never know. Might have some football fans out there. Never know who's listening.
That's true.
I'm just out here trying to take the Steelers to the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go.
Honestly, I'm surprised, Jordan. All this time, me and you have never just played catch before.
I'm sorry, son. You want to go throw the ball
we never
in the
we never
backyard?
we never threw a football together. I don't know why.
Never threw the old
All right,
pigskin.
man.
Yeah.
I'll bring it over next game night. We'll just have a catch in the backyard.
Dude, sweet. I'll bring a baseball mitt.
Great. I love that for you. Happy to hear it, son. Anybody else want to have a catch or want to move on to the game? Which would you guys rather do?
I think I'm good on the catch, dude.
All right. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on here. If we're ready to go, let's dig up some Biomechanical Toy. Biomechanical Toy is a scrolling and somewhat platforming run and gun developed by Zeus Software, published by Galeco in 1995. You take on the role of Inguz, I'm going to assume it's pronounced, an action hero toy set out to stop an escaped criminal named Scrubby, who has stolen a magic pendulum that brings toys to life. You go through multiple levels, I think about 7 or so, typically taking place in other toy worlds, battling other toy enemies. So boys, I have one question to start things off because I couldn't decide this on my own. Do we prefer the name Metal Squawkers or JJ Sluggers?
Wow.
JJ Slugger sounds good.
This is 100% just a combination of Metal Slug and JJ Squawkers to me.
Yeah, I could get those
Pretty
vibes.
wild. Run and gun's got some crazy stuff going on. Crazy visuals. Real random.
Yeah, the visuals and the aesthetic of JJ Squawkers and put Metal Slug in there. That's kind of the game we got here tonight.
I like what is it, Metal Squawkers?
Metal Squawkers and JJ Sluggers are the two I was thinking.
JJ
I'm going with JJ Slugger, dude.
JJ Sluggers is pretty funny.
I think JJ Sluggers is pretty solid.
I feel like that was like another game with JJ Squawkers, but it was like baseball themed.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. It's too baseball-like, but it sounds great, so I'm kind of sticking with it, man. JJ Sluggers is here. Oh, man. But anyway, yeah, fun little, side-scrolling shooters. I mean, we've had a few games kind of like this before, as we mentioned. I believe, as I said, there are 7 stages in this game. I'll just give a very, very brief rundown of each one, and we can see if there's any in specific you guys want to talk about. You start off in Stage 1, which is the Crazy West, just a Wild West setting. Stage 2 is Chess Valley. It's filled with chess pieces and playing cards. Stage 3 is Train to Hell. It's a kind of a shorter stage. You're just jumping from one train car to another, taking out a lot of enemies in that one. Stage 4, this might be a poor translation. There's a lot of poor translation in this game again. Stage 4 is called Wood of Clocks. It's kind of a jungle-themed map. We got Stage 5, which is Dragon's Tower. That one was fun. That's one where you're constantly moving up the stage to beat the rising water level. There's a bonus stage, then, where you shoot flying pigs. And I don't think this is the first game we've seen flying pigs in, which is very interesting. But you get to collect coins within the time limit. Stage 6, Wildland, which is the dinosaur-themed stage. And then Stage 7, the Crypt, is just the final boss battle against Scrubby. Does anyone have a specific stage that they want to point out?
I don't think I have a specific stage, but I will say I actually enjoyed all of these stages. I don't think I encountered one where I was like, oh, this place sucks. Which is like most of the games we play, I feel like, right, there's usually a stage is like the worst. But these ones actually all felt pretty cool.
Like gameplay-wise, aesthetically, just a little bit of both?
I just wasn't annoyed, you know what I mean? Like I just
That's
didn't...
always a good start.
Yeah, I just didn't get to a stage where I was like frustrated and annoyed, and like, so that felt good.
Love to hear that.
On Stage 5, I think it was, that's the one you said it's kind of vertical and the water's rising.
Dragon Tower, yes sir.
Yeah, that one gave me some Black Tiger flashbacks. Like I fell off and it dropped me back down to the bottom. I was like, no, come on. But I died and it gave me back to the right checkpoint. It didn't restart me back at the lower one that I was close by. So that I was a little worried for a minute.
Yeah, there are some flashbacks I'd never wanted again.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the only stage that didn't actually have a time limit though, right? Like there was an actual timer on the bottom of the screen?
Okay, well, here's my question. So as I said, there's water at the bottom of the stage that's constantly rising, but I don't know if that's actually something you have to outspeed or if it just moves up a little bit as you go to the next level.
I think I could be wrong because I think I only fell like one time and I didn't fall that far, but I did fall to where like I could see the water, and like in my mind I thought like the water's rising, I gotta just get away from it. But I don't know if it actually was. I think it was just there, and I could have just like stood there as long as I wanted. So
That's
I'm
what I
not
think
sure.
too. It would make sense then if that was the time limit, but yeah, I don't think it does chase you like that.
Yeah, because I don't think it was actually like moving to like kill you, and I'm almost positive on all these other stages there's a timer on the bottom of the screen, right? If you run out of time, you lose your life. But that stage did not have a timer on it.
Sky, do you have one in specific that sticks out to you?
Not really. No, I think I mainly had trouble with the one when you're climbing up and there's I think there's like little platforms and there's like enemy spawners above these platforms. So I definitely fell off that quite a few times trying to get through it. Is that the one where you're climbing up like a tower or something maybe, or a tree?
I think that has a few enemy spawn points. I believe there's also another one. I think stage 4, the Wood of Clocks, has a lot of enemy spawn points. But if you're thinking of the one where you're climbing vertical, then that is the Dragon Tower from stage 5.
That might be the one, yeah. So you have to jump up little platforms, but I think if you stand on them for too long, I think they flip over. I want to say.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I think if you just like walk to it, it's kind of like a seesaw or like pressure sensitive. If you get to the edge, it like flips down, I think. So you can stand on it and it doesn't seem to fall.
That little section threw me off. I think there's a couple of those on the way up that like tower or whatever.
There were a few of those in the tower, and which stage is it where there's a whole bridge like that you have to cross? That got me pretty bad the first time because I didn't realize you kind of just had to speed across it. I think it's stage 4, the Wood of Clocks. It's got that bridge, and there's a multiple spinning parts, and yeah, if you stand there for more than 1 second, it's gonna drop you, so you gotta be kind of quick crossing that.
Yeah, I found just rushing forward is like the best play because enemies do not stop spawning.
I couldn't tell for sure if they did or not. It kind of almost seemed like they would chase you from behind every now and then too, and they'd show up randomly, but sometimes seemed like they stopped. I don't know. I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, I was confused on that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like if I chilled for too long, I was just constantly getting overrun by like waves of those like goblins or whatever.
Yeah, it literally seemed like it varied by like section. It's like some section it seemed like you could kill them all and then like just move on, and then sometimes I would think I could kill them all because there was like so much that I was like, I'm just gonna kill everything, and then I'll move, and then like they just never stopped coming.
What kind of got annoying were some of the checkpoints. I felt like they had really bad spawns there. Like if you would die and respawn, sometimes there'd be like 30 enemies just like swarming around you. As soon as you respawned, it's like, dude, I don't even have a chance to think here, and I'm already about to die again.
That happened to me on stage 6. It respawned me right in the middle of like 15 enemies.
That reminds me of one of the times I got like knocked into a pit of lava, and like you have no control when you fall in that lava, and it like spits you back out if you're not dead. And so it spits you back out into like a trajectory that like you can't control, and it just threw me back out like right in front of the same enemy that knocked me in. And as soon as I landed, he just hit me and it knocked me in again, and then it killed me. I was like, all right, dude, cool.
Yeah, the knockback in this was pretty terrible. Like you would get hit and your guy would just like be blinking, you'd like fly back, like I don't know, it felt like so far, and you'd land into other stuff that you can't even react to before you come back and start getting hit again.
I think there were 2 stages in specific where the enemies felt at times overwhelming, and that's the stage 3, the Train to Hell, and stage 6, I think, the Wildland, the dinosaur one. There were a lot of times in both of those stages where it just felt like you were getting absolutely swarmed. There were so many enemies on the screen, it would lag. The game would lag, and you just be, I mean, it's pretty, your gun fires pretty fast, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it does still get kind of stressful when you got to aim a different direction like every half a second because they're just surrounding you.
Dude, speaking of the Train to Hell, did any of you guys notice like at the end of the train, like right before you fight the boss of that level, for some reason in the background there's this like massive blown up like Polaroid picture of just some random kid, like some baby.
Yes, and like it's not like pixelated or like cartoony or anything. It's just genuinely like someone who made this game put a picture of their child in the background
It
of
has
that
to be what it
stage
is.
for no reason.
It's so weird.
On the second stage, I felt like it should have been like the last stage. The whole stage was pretty much like a boss rush. Like you were constantly, there were like these screens that lit up and had like a picture of pretty much like an enemy on it, and you would fight that guy. Then you'd move on to like a little bit of platforming, and then there'd be another section, it'd be like another boss. I felt like stage 2, there was so much going on there that did not feel like a stage 2 to me. Compared to some of the other levels that were super short and kind of uneventful, some of the other ones. That felt like a weird placement to me.
Was that the
That
chess
stage
level?
felt long. Yes, Chess Valley. That stage felt very long.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of like going like sideways and then going like up like a thing and then like down an elevator shaft and then like up a air canal. Like you were all over the place.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I guess we should say that too. This is a side-scrolling game, but you will also have a lot of times throughout the game where you're going up or down throughout the map too. And yeah, this stage in specific, stage 2, you'll be going right to start, then you're going down, and you go back to the left, and you go down and back to the right again. It's kind of zigzaggy.
Which I did enjoy though. It kind of felt like, you know, from a stage that like
Yeah.
took so long, if it wasn't like that and it was just walking left to right the whole time, then you might have hit that point where I was like, okay, this is annoying.
Yeah. Now, this stage, though, the Chess Valley, that had probably my least favorite part in the entire game, and that was right before the boss. There's like this vertical scrolling wind tunnel thing that you're in, so you're constantly being pushed up by the wind, and the whole way up there, I mean, this takes a long time that you're in this little tunnel, but there's a bunch of these enemies that whenever you shoot them, they split into more smaller, fast enemies. And I can't tell you how hard of a time I had getting around all of them. And it wouldn't be that bad if it was just a few of them, and this only took like a few seconds. But this was at least, I'd say, a minute or two of this, and I'd constantly be having to control myself very like precisely to not get hit by these little fast enemies.
Now, can I tell you a secret?
Oh, absolutely.
You could actually just press down and your guy will go down.
No, I did that, but there were a lot of times where the little ones would chase you down too. And the really fast ones, they would chase you down there.
Yeah.
So trust me, I did that. I absolutely did to kind of reposition myself then, get my bearings again. But even then, there was just so many. It lasted way too long.
Can I tell you another secret? Before you like actually go up the air shaft thing, on the left side there's a ammo box, right? Like to power up your gun. If you grab that, it turns your gun into like a big explosion. And so when you're going up, if you just one tap the big giant guy, it'll actually kill him and explode and then kill all the mini guys that come out, like all in the same shot. So it actually just takes one bullet to kill each one of them. You just have to like conserve your ammo.
I did want to play this again, so maybe I'll try that out the next time.
Yeah, you just make sure you like reload. You know how you have an actual reload in this game? So I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me if this is how it works, but when you pick up those power-ups for your gun, are they on a time limit, or is it like just for the remaining clip of your ammo?
I think it's ammo based.
That's what I
Yeah, it
thought.
looks like ammo.
So if you pick up a power-up when you have like 8 shots left, like you're only going to have 8 shots of it. So if you're going to pick up a power-up, I would shoot your gun out till it reloads and then pick it up.
Well, I think it resets your ammo count whenever you pick up the like that explosion one. I think it just automatically gives you 20 bullets in that clip, regardless of what you had before.
But your clip's way bigger than that, right?
Not for the special weapons; they limit it a bit.
I think the normal gun's just like 100 shots and then it reloads it or something.
I never paid attention to the power-ups at all, man. If I saw a power-up on the screen, I just grabbed it and kept trucking.
Yeah, well, the thing with the ammo is you have unlimited ammo. You can just keep shooting, but once you run out of like, it gives you like a tally of how many bullets you have. If that goes to 0 and you have no bullets left, you can still shoot, but it's not fully auto anymore. You have to constantly click, like keep on shooting. So it only counts for full auto for the ammo, and then once it runs out, you got to manually keep on spamming it.
That was the annoying part for me.
Yeah.
See, I mostly did that anyway. I knew that it was automatic if you held it in, but for some reason, it just kind of felt better to me to keep tapping the button.
One other thing I wanted to say about that wind tunnel that you were going up, the thing that made it really weird, I thought, or just hard to control, is because the enemies are above you, so you have to hold it up to shoot them. And as you're holding it up, it makes you go up faster. So you got to keep on like
Yes.
going up, drop down, aim up again to shoot, because you can't just look up without moving up. So it just keeps on making you like try to run into them. That part tripped me up the first time.
Yeah, that was a big pain for sure.
So what was the, like, on the bottom of your screen, you have your timer in the middle. You have your ammo, like your clip size on the far right. And then your bombs that you have are on the far left. But what's the thing beside your ammo count?
That's your clips. You got like in the blue. The blue is how many clips you have, and the red is how many active bullets are in that clip.
Yeah, I thought those were like bombs at first. I was like, how do I use these bombs?
I was gonna say, wait, are there bombs in this game? And I didn't know.
There are bombs. The bombs are on the left.
See, one of the two of us always does this.
Oh wait, how do you use the bombs?
I didn't know what those were. I kept collecting them, and I was gonna ask you guys tonight, like, what they looked like trophies. I was gonna ask you what the heck they were, but
yeah, those are the bombs.
Kyle, you want to take this one for once? You want to tell these boys how to play?
please.
Well, I don't know. You guys, I play on my Xbox controller, so for me, I just literally press my A button and it uses the bomb.
I pressed every other button on my
Yeah, I
controller.
tried like combos and I could not use a bomb.
I think what it was for me, it might be the like default way. It's the player start button. That's what uses them.
Oh, what? Why would
Yeah.
Why would it map at the
dumb
start?
button?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't pause games when
Oh,
I'm playing.
jeez.
But yeah, it pretty much clears the whole screen, so it's like a little phoenix.
They were actually really strong. Like you could
Oh,
two-shot.
wow.
I think like two of them would kill a
Of
boss.
course.
That's
Oh
dumb.
my god.
Why was that
I'm
not
so
on?
mad.
Come on.
I had no idea what those were. They look like trophies. Why are they bombs?
Yeah, I thought it was just like point collection or like extra lives or something.
Yeah, I think the health that they give you like was pretty generous, and those bombs were like overpowered.
Like I said, I did want to play this again. I'm glad I'm learning things right now because that would be very helpful on those stages where I said you're getting swarmed.
But wait, so I'm still confused on the whole clip size. Like you have 3 clips and X amount of ammo. It's like, what does the clips matter if you have infinite ammo? What happens when they run out of clips?
Your gun turns to semi-auto. You can't hold it in anymore. So whenever you have the clips, it's full auto.
I tried that like when I first started. I was like, can I hold this in? And I don't think it did anything. So I just played the whole game semi-auto.
Yeah, because you start the game without any. There's like a little crate to the left as soon as you start, I think. Once you pick that up, then you have your auto ammo. But until you get that, you've got to spam the shoot button.
Well, that makes sense. I just played the whole game semi-auto. Whatever.
Well, dude, sometimes that got me killed because I was used to just holding it in. When you're shooting, you can't move. Like, well, you can jump, but you can't walk. So I'm just holding in shoot because I have full auto. And I'm like standing on the edge, like trying to kill these enemies that keep spawning. I run out of ammo, so I'm no longer shooting because I don't have the full auto, and I just walk right off the cliff and die.
Sweet, dude.
So let's talk about enemies. There are a lot of different enemies in this game. I don't necessarily think many of them really stand out significantly. I will say the one that I really wanted to point out, this was definitely one of the more unique enemies. This was on stage 2, and there were worms that I'm pretty sure were cigarettes. You guys remember what I'm talking about?
I remember the worms, but I don't know if it...
I'm gonna have to look again. They look like little cigarette worms. I don't know for sure, but that was definitely one of the ones that really stood out to me. I also enjoyed on the Dragon's Tower, the flying guys that I can't tell if they look like flying wizards or flying crackheads, but it's one of the two for sure. Besides for that, I don't know. The enemies, like I said, they weren't super special to me. Were there any that you guys wanted to point out?
I thought there were an overwhelming amount of dinosaurs. I know the dinosaurs were big in the back of the 90s, I guess, but I didn't want to shoot them all in the face. So I don't know why there's so many dinosaur enemies in this game.
Yeah, those
weren't they
felt
just
like...
on stage 6?
Nah, dude, there were dinosaurs everywhere.
Everywhere.
I promise you.
And there was the one enemy on stage 6 where it was essentially a floating dinosaur skull. Don't forget on the Joe and Mac episode, didn't we talk about how there was always, like in these old 90s games, they loved like fossilized skull, like or dinosaur bones and stuff.
Dude, even the train ride was mostly dinosaurs. It's like, why are we just fighting dinosaurs the whole train match?
I think the worst part on the train level was like the spider enemies.
Yeah, they were a little tricky if you let them land, if you didn't kill them like before they started crawling at you because they were hard to shoot because they were low to the ground.
I think in level 2, that chest level, I think the first enemy that actually gave me a problem was that like tomahawk guy.
Oh, the one that jumps back and forth over top of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he feels mini boss-esque, I'd say.
Because, like, it wasn't just him, but, like, you're trying to dodge him while he's swinging at you and jumping around. But, like, little guys are also running towards you. So I'm, like, trying to worry about this dude jumping on me and then trying to take out these little dudes chasing me. It took me a couple of those guys to finally get it down.
Yeah, if the little enemies weren't there at the same time, it would be much easier. I will say, on the same stage, the one giant chess piece that has boxing gloves on.
Yeah, the Rook.
He got me a few times because the way he attacks you is he punches the ground and it sends a shockwave at you, and it's kind of quick. You only have like a second or so to react to that, so unless you kind of preemptively time it and jump beforehand, you might get hit by it.
His attack, like, wasn't... I mean, you could see it coming across the ground, but it's just, like, the same color as the ground, so it's not, like, super visual when you should jump all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just have to look for his hand.
Okay, I'm watching the video right now. The video is actually on this stage we're talking about. Those worms are 100% cigarettes because the tips, like their heads are still lit. They are 100% just like crawling cigarette worms.
Oh wow, they are.
Weird.
Yeah, just
definitely the best enemy in this game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, the theme of the game, everything's supposed to be toys come to life, but I mean, I guess in that sense it works, but it just feels like that's an excuse just to have a bunch of random enemies and nothing really like made sense. It's just a bunch of random stuff all stuck together.
So this, I assume, takes place in like a child's room. So am I to understand that the kid like stole his dad's cigarettes?
That could be the case.
Uh-oh. Dad better check his pack there.
What kind of toy though is that? Those weird crackhead looking flying things on that.
I don't know.
Like,
those are the ones at the bottom
water?
of the toy box. We don't play with those anymore.
What is that thing, dude?
I don't know, dude, but they are sketchy looking. They look like they've had a rough time.
Those are the ones you find in Sid's room.
Ah, you beat me to
Oh
it.
no! I love it.
I was gonna say, if these are all toys, then that's Sid's room.
All right. Any other basic enemies that stand out to you guys?
Like Brad said, a lot of the enemies are kind of random. Like aside from whatever fixation they had on dinosaurs being everywhere, but it was like a decent amount though. I think it was a good variation of enemies, which kept it from getting stale.
Yeah, those like flying wizard things are kind of cool. There's like wizard demon things.
The crackheads.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they're the ones at the bottom of the toy chest.
I thought they looked kind of neat. And like, there's isn't there like floating skulls at one point?
On stage 6, the dinosaur ones.
Yeah, those look kind of neat.
If there's no other basic enemies you guys want to talk about, we can talk about the bosses a little bit here. Just real quick here, I'll kind of go through each one, just their names at least. Stage 1, in the Crazy West stage, you have the Wizard Queen. In the Chest Valley in stage 2, you have the Flying King. Stage 3, the Train to Hell. That one's kind of weird because it's not actually on the train. It kind of just randomly takes you to a new area in front of the kid's like desktop computer where you fight the virus. The Wood of Clocks stage, you fight the alien. Dragon's Tower, surprise, you fight a dragon, green dragon. Stage 6, the dinosaur one. Actually, I don't think there is a boss on stage 6 if I'm remembering correctly, because I think right after you finish stage 6, it takes you right to stage 7, which is Scrubby, the final boss. So, what boss stands out to you guys? Good or bad?
Dude, Scrubby, I didn't even know I was fighting him when I was fighting him. Like, it didn't
Really?
feel like a final boss. Maybe because I think
He sucked.
I think I used the 2 bombs on him actually. Now that I remember.
I mean, nothing
I
feels
wish I
much like a
knew.
boss when you start bombing them.
I think I used 2 bombs
Yeah.
and the fight was over. So
Even without the bombs, dude, he was super easy. All he did was jump over top of you back and forth, and all you really had to do was like watch out for falling boulders from the top of the stage every now and then. But besides for that, he'd just jump over you. All right, I'll just turn the other way and shoot you that way then. That's really all he did.
And it was weird. For the one time I fought him, it seemed real easy. Then I did a second playthrough, and it seemed like he was doing more attacks. He would use that blue orb, and it would shoot lightning at like locked onto me. He would spawn bees up above me. It seemed like he was doing way more attacks the next time I came through, so I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I remember those two. The blue lightning orb is definitely his hardest attack, I think, but it's still avoidable. Then when he spawns the bees, that's pretty much nothing. It's just like 3 basic enemies. You can take them out quick.
I think what made him easier is I think his attacks go based off of whether you shoot him or not. Like, as soon as he'd jump around, I would just shoot him as much as possible. And, like, but he would just keep moving and launching, like, those big lightning ball things that follow you. But if he, like, launches it and you wait a second and dodge it and then start shooting him, you can kind of, like, delay his attacks. So I think it was actually harder to just continuously spam him with bullets, because he just starts launching stuff off at you. That's what it seemed like to me. I felt like I was like controlling when he would launch that stuff if I would just wait a couple seconds.
But why was he wearing a big diaper?
Why aren't you wearing a big diaper?
That's the real question.
Because my name's not Scrubby.
I wish it was. I'm going to call you that from now on. The
Well,
Wiggin
Scrubby.
Boys. Scrubby Wiggin.
Scrubby. Oh my god.
In general, the bosses were pretty varied. They each kind of had their own pattern, so the boss fights were pretty decent. I did like the, which one was it? The third boss? The little flying computer virus? That was a pretty cool one. It had like the old 90s PC in the background, and
Yeah.
whenever you shoot the boss, he like flashes like an old static TV, black and white, the white ants versus black ants. You guys remember that channel?
Dude, that's my favorite channel.
Used to watch that for hours.
I think he was one of the tougher bosses, like maybe one of the top 3 toughest ones in general. I mean, that's not saying he's super hard. Actually, the first time I played this game, I managed to stun lock him. I don't know how I did because I wasn't able to replicate it any time after that, but I think he's a little on the tougher side.
Yeah, him and the second boss were pretty similar. They both had like a bouncer on each end, so you can bounce up to like get on top of them and like shoot down on their head. And I don't know if we mentioned this at all, but just throughout the whole game, you can just jump on enemies' heads and like bounce off them. Makes a funny little sound. You can also kill them that way. I don't know if you guys did that at all. But yeah, there's 2 bosses. You can like get on top of them and just bounce on their head and shoot down for a bit and get a lot of damage on them.
I tried to do that at first. I didn't realize he shot them little orbs at you that followed you, because
Yeah,
I was like bouncing on his head, and I was like, oh, this is pretty easy and safe. And then I kept getting hit, and I didn't actually realize them little orbs are coming out of them and running right into me.
Yeah, that was what made it kind of tricky, was just those little heat seekers or something.
He was cool though. It was a fun, but all the bosses are kind of fun. They weren't super hard. They'd have their own little tactics to them though.
Speaking of not super hard, stage 4, the Wood of Clocks stage, the boss is the alien. That might be the easiest boss fight we've played in any game.
Yeah.
That was nothing. I don't know how that was a boss fight.
That was like a sub boss or something.
Yeah, I mean, all he did was just spawn on one side of the stage, and he'd spawn like 2 or 3 basic enemies, and then he'd just switch over to the other side of the stage. That was all that he did.
There's like right above it in the middle, there's like a little spider. The first time I played it, I didn't kill that spider, so I actually got wrecked for a little bit because the spider would hit you with the webs and it actually like stuns you so you can't move. And I'm trying to get out of that, then he spawns like 6, he opens his mouth and spawns like 5 or 6 bats. And he keeps on going back and forth. I was like, man, I'm trying to manage the bats. I didn't kill that stupid spider up above. So that thing kept on wrecking me until I realized what was happening. Then after that, it's super easy.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing that gives a challenge.
That was a hefty stun too. That was like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
What I thought was funny on that virus though, how you said about the computer in the background.
Right.
I like how the screen on it just says "Danger Virus." Like that's that. Like you have a virus, it just pops up "Danger Virus."
This kid's been playing on LimeWire too much, man.
It's like every 80s and 90s movie ever that had a computer in it.
Yeah.
That's what hackers spend time doing, putting up a little virus screen. It tells you, hey, you got a virus now.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So, yeah, update your software.
Legally, they have to. They have to tell you they give you a virus.
Hey, they have morals too. They give you a fighting chance, I guess.
I think the only other boss I really wanted to point out is the green dragon from the Dragon's Tower. Mostly just because he was the coolest looking one, I personally think. And the boss fight doesn't start right away, so whenever you get to the arena, you have to clear out a few of those enemy spawn points on the map first. Then he shows up to fight you. I think he was overall a little bit tougher too, mostly just because of how fast he moves around, but I definitely give him bonus points for being the coolest looking one.
It's pretty cool how he like goes to the background. Like you fight him for a little bit,
Yeah.
he runs all the way to the background and gives you like a 2-second breather, then he comes back. It's definitely a fun boss.
Yeah, he was cool. I thought he was fairly easy, though, because he would just go from one side, go to the back, come out the other side. He had 2 attacks. He'd shoot a flamethrower, which, like, crawls across the ground at you. You jump that, or he shoots these little orbs, similar to, like, the virus boss. But you would just jump over that, shoot him, he'd go to the background, come out the other side. Once you saw how simple his pattern was, he was pretty easy to get through.
Yeah, I guess once you knew his attack pattern, it was pretty easy. I think it was more so just the speed that he moved at that made it a little on the trickier side.
Yeah.
Nothing a bomb can't take care of.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I was the Kyle for this game and didn't know how the hell to use bombs. And Sky was too, apparently.
Yeah, because it was on a weird button that I don't
How about
barely
it?
ever use. Come on, man.
I will say, though, I think that's better than the games where it's like, press these 3 buttons at one time to use a bomb.
That's what I was expecting for this. I was trying to do like little button combos, pressing a couple at the same time. I thought maybe I had to like. Wasn't there a game we played where you had to jump to use a bomb or something stupid like that?
Punisher.
Was it Punisher?
Yeah.
Hey, so I thought maybe I have to be in the air to use it. Nah, all this time I just had to pause the game.
Yeah, that was and see, like, if they would have just made the bombs look like bombs, I would have spent the time trying to figure out how to use them. Why are they like in a little eagle statue?
Yeah.
How does that make me think bomb?
I thought that was just like a random collectible for score. Or like,
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of Contra, because they have like, I think that's their extra lives is like eagles, I want to say.
I was so confused as to what that was because I couldn't, it didn't seem like it was doing anything.
Nah, like I thought that was just whatever score stuff or a collectible. And like the ammo count thing looks like a bomb. I thought those were my bombs. I was like, how do I use this thing? So that was kind of dumb.
I just assumed there was no bombs in this game.
I was confused as why we were playing as the Fonz in this game.
Hey, nah, dude, he looks like Steven. He looks like Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's what I
god.
think.
He's got the
Wow.
ponytail.
The slick back ponytail and everything.
What this thing immediately reminded me of. Do you guys, anybody ever played Kid Chameleon back on the Sega?
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah, I
that game?
remember that. Yeah.
Do you remember Comic Zone?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
It looks like those two just did like the fusion dance.
Yeah.
Oh,
As soon as I saw this dude, I was like, that looks like Kid Chameleon, but he looks too beefy and tall. So he kind of looks like the Comic Zone guy. Thought it was a weird mixture for a main character.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though.
Did we even talk about the toys that you can rescue?
nope. I was gonna get to that next, but by all means, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know much about them because, like, I feel like the game happens so fast with all the
There's not
enemies,
much to know.
where it's like,
Yeah.
you pick up these little toys. It's just like, it says like rescue me, and you just walk over them, and it like gets them out of a cage or whatever their deal is, and they just kind of stay with you for like, I don't know, what seems like a pretty short amount of time. It's like 15 to 20 seconds maybe you have them, and they just kind of do like, all the toys are different, so they just have their own little attacks they do, but it's kind of like a automatic thing. It just kind of happens, but it's like there's so much going on that it's like I couldn't even tell what half of them were doing.
It's like getting the assist trophy in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know if they last a certain amount of time. I was kind of seeing it more as like once you advance far enough to a certain part of the stage, maybe that's when they stop following you, but I can't say that for sure. That was just my guess.
Either way, it was a super short amount of time. It seemed like they were gone almost as soon
Yeah.
as you got them.
They were helpful though. I mean, they were throwing attacks out there.
I didn't find them all that useful. I thought they were really cool. I liked them. Like some of their little designs. It's cool to have like a little guy floating around with you. But I didn't think they were all that useful. They were just kind of there, just something to do.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they stood out super well, as you said. Like I can recall what some of them were. Like there was one that was a fairy, one was a genie, and one I think had I think they called him an ogre, and he had like tomahawks or something. But that's about all I can remember.
There was like a little flying robot guy, like a helicopter blade, looked like a little miniature toy. He was pretty sick. That was in the stage 5 one. And I think the first stage is a guy bouncing like a little pogo ball. Every time you shoot, he like jumps and hits the ground and shoots little shockwaves. My favorite was the ogre. That dude was sick with the dual wielding axes. And he throws them.
Yeah.
They're like boomerangs. They fly out and come back. That's the one that I actually felt was pretty useful.
Almost kind of felt like one of those scrolling shooters when you get the little helpers,
Yeah.
little option robots and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it was just such a short time period you had them that it was like cool, but at the same time it was nothing I couldn't have just done on my own.
Yeah.
So as far as power-ups go in this game, I mean, we've kind of talked about the weapon power-ups. Obviously, there's other standard stuff like your kind of just bonus points in your health. In this game, health it's all food-based. So you got I think I've seen like lemons and bananas and stuff. Typically, you get those from either crates on the ground that for some reason have your face on them. I think typically that's weapon upgrades, and then you get food upgrades usually from balloons that are floating in the air. So anytime you see them, you want to make sure you go after them.
There were a lot of not a lot, but there were a few secret spots you can get to by bouncing off those balloons. Like they almost made like a staircase. If you bounce on one, you would get up just high enough that you could bounce on another. And I think it was the second stage. You can go up like so high. You keep going up left, then it turns right, goes left, right again. You're up like 3 times the height of the original screen. It just gives you like bonus points up there, but it's kind of cool that there's like secrets like that.
That stage did way too much.
Yeah, there was so much going on. They just dumped everything into stage 2.
And this is one of maybe the only games that we've played so far where I actually kind of cared about getting a higher score, because it was fairly easy to get a 1-up if you got a high enough score. It seemed like that happened a little more often than in other games.
Yeah, they'd always hype you up too. They'd be like, oh, this amount, you're about to get another 1-up. When you're about to get close to another one, they give you another little call out to let you know you're about to get one.
Yeah, they'll tell you. This is a game where the score goes like insane. Like your score goes insanely high on this one. So I think it's every like few million or something you get a 1-up.
Yeah, I think I didn't really keep track, but I think at the end I had like something a little bit over like 6 million score.
Yes, something crazy like that. All right, boys, I'm kind of running out of ideas here. Does anybody have anything else they want to point out about the game?
What about that bonus level?
Yeah, I mentioned that very briefly. That's kind of just, I believe it takes place between stages 5 and 6. That's the one where you're shooting flying pigs. And as I said, I'm almost positive this is not the first game we've played that had flying pigs in it. But every pig you shot gave you like, I want to say like 5 to 10 coins. And the objective was to collect at least 100 coins in the time limit. And then you just got a 1-up for it, I believe.
Oh, Jordan, the other game you're thinking of with the flying pigs was Altered Beast.
Was it?
No,
But it wasn't though.
Part of me feels like it might have been like Twin Bee or something.
Maybe.
The one we always thought were pigs, it turns out they were wolves.
You guys are always getting your animals mixed up.
When you get to that bonus level, like, what's that little dude like comes out like a Jack-in-the-Box thing or whatever? Just like a weird looking head though. What is that?
There's all kinds of characters in this game that you just don't know what they are.
It's like a little baseball hat on.
Yeah, he collects all the coins you get. I don't know what the point of it is, but yeah, it's definitely a weird little thing. That's bonus stage. I felt like it was just there to waste your ammo because it wasn't worth trying to do it. I'd get to like 99, and then I'd run out of time, and I just blew through like 6 clips.
I didn't even think about that.
He just pops out.
Give me 100 coins. Use all your ammo.
Yeah, like, I don't need an extra life that bad, dude. I'd rather have 7 clips of ammo than 1-up.
One other thing I forgot to mention, that this was really crazy looking. This happens at the very end of stage 1 into stage 2. What was the deal with the gigantic like face that you jumped into at the end of the stage? That was weird looking.
Yeah.
I think that whenever you guys told me the name of this game and I Googled it, I'm pretty sure that was one of the first images to pop up, and I was like, what the hell is this going to be?
Yeah, it feels like the JJ Squawkers thing. When you Google that, you see the final boss, which is like this crazy, weird looking thing. And same with
The
here.
weird mouth attack. Yeah, I remember that too.
It almost kind of looked like it was like drawn in like a Ren and Stimpy cartoon or something. Just the way that thing looks, the way it's drawn, reminds me of that cartoon.
And it's a very human-like face too, which kind of doesn't fit in with the rest of this game, other than like your character who's human-like.
It's like a rock star or something.
And the picture at the end of the train level, of course. That's the most human-like thing in this game. But
Looks like he's a guitar player in like the year 3000.
that was interesting. I kind of just wanted to point him out.
There was one other enemy I wanted to talk about. It was that weird little thing. It's like sitting on the ground. It's like it has 2 heads and like flips upside down, and one of the mouths shoots straight. It'll like shoot head level, and the other one will shoot underneath you. That thing would snipe me out, dude. That thing does like half your health in one shot. If you're like trying to you're getting swarmed by enemies behind you, you're trying to shoot those, and that thing, once it charges up and it launches, that shoots so quick. So if you're not ready for it, you're like about to die off of one hit on that thing. That thing was nuts.
I was pretty careful every time I saw him. Typically, if I was very carefully looking for his attack, and if I didn't kill him in time, I'd be ready to jump over it.
Yeah, you'd think I'd learned my lesson, but he sniped me out way too many times.
You guys happen to take notice of the music in the first couple levels?
Oh,
yeah,
the music in this game is so bad. It's awful.
I don't know if it's like, it sounds like it's like an old bar scene from a movie, like a lounge or something. Either that or like a 70s porno, I couldn't tell.
Oh, but wait. What I will say, though, is after you defeat the final boss, you are treated to the funkiest 90s video game bass line I've ever heard in my life, and that is just a joy.
Dude, the music in this game did not feel like it fit the game. It just felt... I mean, the whole game was so random, so I guess you could put anything to it, but it just didn't feel like it should be in this arcade game. It was weird.
We'll have a little tidbit about the music whenever we get to trivia.
All right.
Definitely sounded like if they would have ported it to like Sega, the music would have fit on Sega, just the way it sounded.
And of course, like that was the first thing I noticed about this game. As soon as I fired it up, it just started playing this very awful sounding music, and I was like, I thought like the mid 90s they could do better than this. Also, I didn't point this part out. So after you beat the game, you get a little note on the screen that just says happy end. And then if this happened to me once, if you game over, it pops up. I forget which one it says. It either says sad end or bad end. I forget which. But if you game over, it pops up saying that instead.
Now we got to replay it to see all the different endings.
The happy end and the sad end.
Yeah, multiple endings, man. They're ahead of their time. It's like Chrono Trigger, but it's for the arcade. All right, boys. Any other notes?
Yeah, I think the last thing is they had Skylar's favorite feature, which will let you like drop down through the platforms.
Yes.
Did they?
Yep.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, me either. I was just running and gunning. I never tried to do that.
I did notice that this was one of the games where I'm pretty sure you could not move and shoot at the same time, though. That's the kind of a topic. That's a topic we bring up.
Yeah, unless you were jumping, you could jump and like keep your momentum.
Yes, you could jump and shoot, but you couldn't just normally move and shoot. I do like that you have the different the different directions you can aim your weapon. There were a few times though where I was trying to like just turn around and attack an enemy behind me, but I guess I'd hold the button like a little too far down, and instead he'd just crouch and keep shooting. It's like, dude, no, you're getting me killed now because you won't do what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah, the movement was a little sluggish. Like trying to move or trying to shoot, then stop, and then move. It felt like there was such a delay. That definitely was rough to get around.
Kind of had like similar controls to Earthworm Jim. Just how you're running and jumping around. Like when you go to shoot, you stick in place, and then you can just, aim whatever 8 directions and shoot.
Been too long since I played that. I need to replay that one.
Yeah, I haven't touched that in forever. All right, last chance, boys. Otherwise, we're hopping into Brad's moment.
Let Brad have his moment.
Take it.
All right, Brad, you ready for your moment? You want to hit us with some numbers, man?
I sure do.
Let's do it.
We'll start off with our credits. Let's see how many credits it took each of us to complete this game. Sky, you want to go first?
Yep. I only played it once, and I spent 11.
Okay, I played it twice. My first one, I also did it in 11. I was kind of running and gunning through. Second time, I was being way more conservative. I got it down to 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I was playing it safe, using my specials in the right spot on like some of the harder spots to clear the whole screen. And I mean, if you play it a little bit slower, it's pretty easy to get a low credit count on this. Jordan, how about you?
So I only officially played it once. I did try to play it a second time, but I eventually, like halfway through, got to a spot, I think maybe even on the train, where I just took so many cheap deaths that I gave up and just stuck with my first playthrough, which was 8 credits.
Dude, that's still good.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah, I felt okay about it.
Yeah, that's real
It didn't
good.
feel like a very hard game.
Nah. Kyle?
I did my solo playthrough and it took me 6.
Ooh, everybody crushing it but me tonight.
That's all right, man. You crush almost every other game.
Yeah. If you played it the second time, it would go down a lot, I'm sure, just like mine
Oh,
did.
yeah. I really want to do it another time here.
Did anybody track their score at all? Out of curiosity.
I just remember I didn't do anything crazy. I wasn't like score farming. I just beat the game. And then at the end, it ended up being a little over 6 million.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think I'm like roughly around 5.8 million because I think I typed in an extra number in here because I have it as like 57 million and something, but I think I put an extra 9 in there. So I'm assuming it's 5,799,930.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
mine was
about
somewhere
where
in
I'm
that
at.
range, 5 million. I got that one up for 5 million, then I didn't see much after that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into our personal ratings. In the intro scene of this game, on the Toy News, it shows a mugshot of the one and only Scrubby, and his mugshot number is 665, so that's what we're going to rate it out of.
Ooh, okay.
665.
665. I'll go first. I gave this a 227 out of 665. That's not a great score. I felt like for how crazy it looked in the game, it just kind of feels a little generic. The bosses were pretty cool, but the movement was a little sluggish and shooting was a little annoying to me sometimes. I thought there's like little assist trophies, like the summon things were pretty interesting, but they were mostly useless. And I don't know, I feel like there should have been like more weapon pickups. Like you get one extra weapon. It doesn't seem to last that long. But yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'll probably go around like a, let's say like a 270 or so. I don't think it was an insanely terrible game, but I mean, the levels themselves are really generic. I mean, other than looking crazy, I mean, there's not much to them. Like it's like basic platforming stuff. You barely even do platforming really. The bosses were fun though, even though they weren't super hard or super easy. They're just kind of just acceptable bosses for like a run and gun game. Yeah, nothing too crazy about this one though.
Well, I guess I'll give this one probably like a 330. It's like a 50%. Like you guys said, it's like this game was definitely easy. Like I definitely just kind of ran through it. I only did one playthrough. It only took 6 credits. The bombs were like crazy strong. I'm pretty sure if you used 2 bombs, it would kill like any boss in the game. So it was like really easy. The enemies there was like a good variation of enemies, but at some points it just felt like, I mean, I definitely hit like 2 points in the game where there were so many enemies coming that like the game started to like glitch up a little bit. But it was just like, I don't know, it's just not that memorable. Like I kind of liked it because it was like, it was easy, but then like also at the same time, it was like too easy.
See, I'm more positive on this one than the rest of the group. I think this game is kind of what I wish JJ Squawkers was, where it looks basically the same, but it's a little simpler. There's less platforming aspects, and rather than having kind of just weird weapons that did different things, you're just shooting. I guess I enjoy simplicity a little bit more than the rest of the group. Overall, I was pretty positive on this. I mean, is it a perfect game? No, it's not a perfect game, but it feels very much like Metal Slug to me, just like a little bit worse. So I'm kind of going in that direction, whereas I gave Metal Slug a little over like 70%. This one's getting a nice 69% and getting 460.
I can respect it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like the game definitely wasn't bad. It just, to me, it just wasn't great.
Right, yeah.
That's fair.
Wish there was more. It was really like, I don't know, like just super basic. There's only jump, shoot, and then I guess the dumb
And bombs,
the
apparently.
dumb freaking bombs. I'm not even gonna call them smart bombs. They're dumb bombs.
They're the start button bombs.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
I mean, to be fair though, that's most arcade games. You get like 2 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. This one just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't have like a lot of unique stuff to it,
Yeah.
other than like the graphics. Like everything looked awesome. Obviously.
I will say, like,
Oh yeah.
I could imagine for its time though, like this would be probably what you wanted an arcade to be, because like you could actually go in there as like a child, and like doesn't cost you a fortune to actually play it. Like you could actually play it and like relatively beat it. It was a kind of a short game. It was pretty easy. It's like you could actually go into an arcade, play this, beat it, you know what I mean, for like $3, and then still be able to get a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a Pepsi and a candy bar.
Yeah,
Heck
dude, that's a good day.
Simpler times.
All right, well, let's see if Biomechanical Toy has a good day on our rankings. Where do you guys think this one slots in among the 25 other games we've played for the pod so far?
So I'm going to hop in first, and I'm going to kind of stick with what I just said. This game very much feels like Metal Slug, just a little bit worse. So my first initial thought is 1 spot below Metal Slug.
Not bad. I was thinking under Black Tiger, but I'm not opposed to under Metal Slug.
Cool, man. Playing Black Tiger again would feel awful to me, but I kind of want to play this one again.
I could see it down around that area.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere around Metal Slug, so I could put it right below Metal Slug.
I mean, I'd put it right above it, but I'm not going to fight for it.
Yeah, I would say Metal Slug is a better version of these two.
Yeah, I agree. Metal Slug is just a better version of this, kind of. I think Metal Slug came out 1 year after this, I want to say.
I don't feel like Metal Slug gets enough love on our list. I definitely don't think this should be topping it.
I fully agree. That's like the one game I think maybe someday we should replay it, since it was like episode 1.
Yeah.
Just kind of see what happens.
I'm down.
I'm sure our opinions, this is all like first impressions every one of these games we're playing. If we played them all again, it might be different.
Yeah, if Metal Slug were higher on this list, I'd honestly put this game a little bit higher too, just personally. It's just I cannot see any reason I would put this above Metal Slug.
Yeah, I'm good with under that.
We got any lobbying to push Metal Slug up a couple spots or nah?
I kind of feel like we should just replay it, almost as like a
Okay.
Just because, it's like, oh, hey, it's our very first game. We're doing it again.
Right.
Maybe we can even just, it doesn't have to be like a full episode. I don't know. But I kind of think maybe we should play it again and then grade it now that we have more games to grade it against.
Right, yeah. It had the fault of being the first game.
That's going to be every game on this list at some point.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this one is specific just to kind of celebrate that it was our very first game, like the one that started it,
I mean, I don't think I can do that just because I'm pretty sure I'm under contract saying I won't play that game again.
Good lord, Sky.
And now there's evidence that I said I will not play it again, so now I can't do it.
But we'll renegotiate at the end of the year.
Yeah, we can.
For now, I'm good with just right under Metal Slug.
Yeah, I can deal
That
with
was
it.
my thought.
All right, I can settle with that as well. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Log it in. It feels right, man. Like I said, it just feels like a worse version of Metal Slug. So, yeah.
All right, so we got Metal Slug at 18, Biomechanical Toy at 19, Altered Beast at 20. And that wraps up the numbers. Jordan, let's get some trivia going.
Jordan is back for trivia time. Leaderboard, Sky, you're leading the way with 47. I remember to say you first this time.
Thank
Brad, you have 39. Kyle, you have 34, my friend. Let's start it off with question number 1. For the credit here, this little tidbit comes from the website for the podcast Hardcore Gaming 101. That's one I listen to every now and then. It's a really good one if anyone else is looking for another gaming podcast. So, as I said earlier, I have a little music thing for trivia. The music from this game has a few downsampled tracks stolen from other sources, including various Hollywood movies. The music from the third stage is from what 1980s movie? A. Lethal Weapon. B. To Live and Die in L.A. C. Red Dawn.
I feel like Lethal Weapon, just because that's the only one I recognize.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that feels like a plant. I'm going with C.
I'm going to stick with A.
All right, well, you're all wrong. The answer is To Live and Die in L.A.
All right.
Let's try it again with question number 2. Along with arcade games, the publisher of this game, Galco, is also known for making what kind of game? A. Electronic dartboards. B. Pinball machines. C. Mega Touch bar games.
I'm going to say darts.
I'm going to go with the Mega Touch.
All right.
I'm going with pinball.
All right. I like you all picked something different there. Someone's got to be right, and the one who is right is Sky. It's electronic dartboards.
I only thought that because at one level you're jumping up darts that come flying through the wall.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that, honestly.
That's the only thing that made me think it might be dartboards.
Wow. That went totally over my head. Fair enough.
That's why, well, you got a duck.
You got to duck under those darts. That got me the first few times. Question number 3. So most of the games that we play were made in either Japan or America, but Biomechanical Toy was developed and published in what country? A. China. B. Spain. C. Germany.
I'm going to say Spain.
Yeah, we'll go with Spain.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards Spain.
And did you guys know that one? Because the correct answer is Spain.
I thought I saw like a Spanish word on one of the levels. I don't remember where it was at.
I don't remember that.
It might have been an exit. Maybe there's an exit sign. I don't remember.
I was just going by the guy that looked like Steven Seagal. He looked like he would be Spanish.
He looks Spanish.
Oh my god.
Does he?
I was
Oh,
right, so
Yeah, it
I
worked.
mean, I guess
This guy,
it
he's
worked.
just like a Spanish Steven Seagal.
yeah.
What was Brad's reason then? Everyone else has a great reason for it.
Just sounded right. The other two that didn't catch me as the ones.
Man. All right, boys. Well, Sky, pretty good day for you. You got 2 right. You're up to 49. Brad got 1. You're at 40. Kyle, you got 1. You are at 35. That will wrap up trivia. Good job, boys. Do you want to say anything else about this game before we wrap it up here tonight?
Take care of your toys.
This is like the
Give
the
those
dark
some
side
love,
of
man.
Toy Story.
Go to the bottom of that toy box. Give them some love.
Oof. Just not the crackhead ones, man. Don't mess with them. But speaking of the crackheads who look like flying wizards, next time on Arcadiology, we have Wizard Fire. You can follow us on all social media at Arcadiology. You can email us questions at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com or use the link in the podcast bio. Join our free Discord, and of course, as always, we'd appreciate it if you leave us a 5-star review so we can read it on the show. Before we close it out, I'm going to throw it to Brad because I believe he had one more thing he wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a call out about, I made a Reddit post about with our rankings recently. I mostly got some pretty good feedback. People just saying like a lot of unique games on there. Some people, a couple questionable slots we have with certain games, but
Understandable.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I upvoted the guy who said JJ Squawkers at, 3 or whatever?
Yeah.
I upvoted that so swiftly.
Well, Jordan made a bunch of bot accounts and uploaded it. It has
Right?
like
Yeah.
500 likes now.
Get out of here.
I think Jordan paid that guy off.
That's what got him banned, actually.
If that guy ever wants to be on the show, you hit me up, man. You're welcome here anytime.
Well, from that post, we picked up roughly 10 new podcast subs from it. So if you're listening to this from the Reddit post, thanks for checking us out. And if you have anything you want to send in, any games you want us to play, or any comments you want to say, like Jordan was telling you, it'll be link in our bio here. Oh, there's one other thing. Someone was hyping up the Dungeons and Dragons sequel because we had ours pretty high. I had a couple people on there saying about like if we like the first one, the second one's even better. So that's going to be a fun one to look forward to down the line.
There are a few sequels we should hop into eventually, like the Turtles one, too.
Yeah.
I've never even played the sequel to that. Cross Swords 2, I don't know. Maybe we can pass on that one. I don't know if I have that kind of time to spare, but we'll see.
And also, our next episode is going to be roughly right around our 1-year mark for the podcast. So, anyone listening, send in your favorite game that we played or your favorite episode, and we'll read them out of here.
1 year? That's wild. It does not feel
Feel free
that long.
to trash the list and say how wrong we are.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it.
Only if you're going to say Squawkers and Alien Syndrome were too high.
And that's it, Jordan.
Wonderful. Say goodbye, boys.
Goodbye, boys.
Happy end.
Not literally.
Oh.
Later, boys.
All right. Insert the closing line here. See ya.